our dough, chaps. We've done our dough.
Hello, welcome back to another episode of Form King. This would be like episode 74 now, Cup Day special midweek edition. I'm going to look at the Cup and just a few other races. I feel like Cup Day, we sort of love it for what it is, which is a smorgasbord of horses that wouldn't really make the regular spring grade, and they all come out on Cup Day, and it's a peculiar but lovable sort of vibe, and I feel like the best thing to do is just to not go too crazy in the early races. Don't go crazy at all, really. The opportunities will come. The track sort of pattern will be figured out. The early races are just more for food for thought and to get an idea. It's not from really making a fortune. The results can be pretty all over the place and sporadic. So briefly, we've done a recap in the previous video of Derby Day. So just to reiterate where we're at, on Saturday it was an outlay of 50 for a return of 64.28, so sort of like a 30% return almost, and the percentage of racing wins goes up from about 4.67 to 4.99, so it's sort of like an even 5%. And sport is still to be determined, still sitting at negative 7.04, and the match in NFL is tomorrow, so that update will probably come after the Melbourne Cup, after the Melbourne Cup episode's been posted. So that is that. And yeah, let's get into Flemington. It'll be all Flemington actually. And just as an opening, let's recap where are they now from Melbourne Cup last year. So Tycoon Star has become a pretty good horse, 2 wins since. Opening address, no wins. Cloudland, 2 wins, sort of had the makings of a good stay there. It's probably had a few issues as well. Manolo Bling won once. Garrett Chico, this is the ironic story, 80-1 Cup Day winner that no one saw coming. Become quite a good stayer. 1 win and then 2 seconds in sort of decent races. Aaron Bay, no wins. Isn't surprising, would always run second, but still 0. Nice Choice, limited run since, but 0 wins. Katoggio won once. I think it was up in the Queensland Carnival. That's it. Fancify, 0 wins, but has run really well, a lot of placings. And Bel Air, 0 wins. So 10 horses, 7 wins across the year. Go back a year, the vintage before that, Dublin Down, 1 win. Forgot You, none. Warmonger, now this is won a Queensland Derby, so yeah, top liner, only 1 win, but I mean, yeah, amazing. Totally smashed them. Wiggum, 2 wins, one of them at Gawler, so things have got a bit down south. The Map 3, that's obviously well credentialed, we'll be running in some decent races in the years to come. The Magstar, 1 win, Roll on High, 1 win, but in good company, and has been contesting good races. Skewiv, 0 wins, has fallen off a cliff in New Zealand, and Peshero 1. So for that cohort, 10 wins across 2 years. So it's not really a day that's going to deliver you champions, but we love it for what it is. And it's bang racing. It's, it's starting at 10:30, half an hour is another one, half an hour is another one. So in the spirit of that, let's get stuck into race 1, the Maribyrnong Plate. A bunch of first starters. This is... it would be great if the tab could synchronize up all these trials that are listed in the form, because they do have a play button and you can click them and they will play and then it will say error. So if they could sync that up or buy the rights or whatever it is, that would be amazing. Otherwise, huntingthroughracing.com, searching through the dates, finding the day at Cranbourne and then seeing 12 jump outs and trying to figure out which one's which. It's just so time consuming. You could watch it all and you might still really be none the wiser for who's going to improve. Seems to be that Brazen Bow and Pinatubo are the spruik sires. So out of Pinatubo, Carnivale and Tales of Time. And then Brazen Bow's got Nerl, Brazen DeChambeau. Pretty good naming, I'll have to give them credit there. And then Diameter. So that's 5 across 2 sires. Nerl's had 2 runs. One of them was in a 2-horse race, which is interesting. It fought back to win quite well. No slow form. There's only 3 horses that have actually had runs in races, and there were no real slow track experience to speak of across the 3. So that was Nerl. Tornado Valley ran on at Caulfield behind Torture. It sort of had a good run, came out at the right time, chased down the straight. Not really sure what to make of it. Down the Flemington straight's obviously very different. You've sort of got to like it and handle it, and who knows. This race last year threw up Tycoon Star at $17, so perhaps not a race for favourites. Carnivale is the favourite, coming off a 3rd in a trial and a win in a trial. Beat Diameter, another horse running in this race. Down the bottom is a bunch at big odds. Hellfire Jess, Luna Vegas coming off 2 trial wins at Cranbourne, paying 19. Could do a lot worse than that. Simply Steffi, out of the sire Graph, which makes a hell of a lot of sense. Great name. That's had 3 trials, all of them pretty good. So a bit of a raffle. You can get bonus bets back for second or third on the tab or on Sportsbet. So yeah, I just have a ping at something. For me, it'll be free flying. Reasons are, I thought it was quite tough in its run behind Torture. That was up on the speed. Just the way that it battled on well gave me some hope that it might run solidly down the straight. And it's drawn barrier 1, which, judging from Saturday's Derby Day meeting, it wasn't really the place to be. Skyhook was there and didn't make a lot of ground there down the straight. Although I would say that in other races it paid to be there. Simply Business. I don't think that was exactly the name. Purely Business. That ran second up along the rails. A few of them made ground along the rails. Just in the straight races, it seemed to be better to be out wide. So I'll back free flying from 1, and then I'll back something else to be on the other side to be drawn out wide. So Luna Vega with those 2 trial wins seems okay, and Simply Steffi, I'll use a bonus bet there. But yeah, always an interesting race. Who knows what's going to happen? I'd stay away from the favourites and find something. Yeah, that's my advice in race 1. Race 2, here we go. 2,000 metres grand handicap, 80 grade. Flash Feeling is 100 to 1, but it's big time down in grade. It's been running at open races at Hamilton, Benalla, Flemington. Won semi-recently at Flemington, I think at fairly big odds. This was back in June, 20 to 1, beat Liberami on soft ground, which is right in the frame as it's raining right now. So that's, I feel like you could do better. I know it's got 62.5 kilos, but it is down a lot in grade, and 100 to 1's a bit excessive considering it's racing against horses, a lot of them who are fresh out of 66 grades. So if it's a real plodding affair, the weight might not be such a disadvantage. Lodbrock's been in good form. Mac Dane, the same. A bit of a non-winner though. 17 starts, 4 wins, 10 placings. I'd say that's a risk at 360, especially from barrier 1. Could get trapped. It's a big field with a lot of horses that have got recent wins, so it's hard to know. As an outsider, Fingerada is interesting. This used to be an amazing horse on heavy tracks. 9 starts for 6 wins. It's fallen off a cliff lately, but almost last at Caulfield, then actually last at Hamilton. If it could return to anything like its best, it's 70 to 1 for the win and 18 for the place. That's pretty appealing. Brave Miss is 750, coming off a win at Cranbourne, over 2,000. JKR, this one, look, I'm probably going down the wrong path with this. 21 starts, 5 wins, 2 placings. It's probably a bit of a forgettable horse, but it has got a good soft track and heavy track record. And if you go back to last prep, it did have a win over at Sandown over the 2400 by 6 lengths, beat Privileged Sun on heavy. Since then, it's been mixed form. It did also have a win on soft over Bluestone, which is quite a capable horse. Came from back in the field. So I feel like you could do a lot worse. It's drawn 17. It might go back. If there's a bit of a tempo, it'll probably work its way in. So I'll have it each way for sure. Nearing Liberty's been in good form. Party Crasher and Hot to Go are both under $10, but I feel like the wins that they've had haven't been that. They haven't beaten much, and Hot to Go's got a poor winning strike rate. Giggenbark has been in good form. It had a perfect run at Pakenham, came off the speed, beat Gates. Not sure it's going to get a perfect run again, but that's 9 and quite capable. And then you've got a bunch of others down the order. It's a very tricky one. For me, just the value on JKR, so each way, and then the place on Flash Feeling. I mean, 24 the place for a horse that's won better races than this. I'd definitely have something on. And then a Quinella. Actually, no, Fingerada for the place as well, just on the off chance it pulls out a good run. And then Quinella, Flash Feeling number 1, Fingerada number 6, JKR number 8, Nearing Liberty number 9, and Giggenbark number 14 for a big box Quinella in race 2 at Flemington. Race 3, the Tab Trophy, 1,800 metres. This is a quite intriguing race, and you've got a favourite who is Arabian Prince, who's coming off runs behind a few of the beaten contingent in the Derby, but horses that have been running quite well. So Autumn Mystery, Options, Cora, second place in the Derby. So Arabian Prince was third there. The margins have been barely anything, 1.4, 1.2 lengths respectively. It's come from back in the field. It's a bit of a risk if it gets back here, but there should be a bit of a class gap and it's lightly raced. So the 390 is appealing. Snitz Sonic was 10 to 1, really good winning at Echuca, rounded them up and ran away over 1,600. So it bodes well that the 1800 metres will suit. Number 7, I2, was quite strong at Pakenham over the 1400. That was on soft, so it can handle the slow going. Champagne Hero, this is at 480. This is down from running the Spring Champion Stakes at Randwick. I was very keen on it that day, and it just battled, didn't do a lot. Attica was far too good, so that's going to jump from barrier 14, but very capable. So I'm not as effusive about it. I just feel like that might have been, maybe I was wrong, or maybe it was just a bit of a grand final for it. So not as keen for the 480. Number 1, Mataga. Quite interesting what they're doing here. This is jumping up a bit in distance, up from 1400 metres. It ran recently at Caulfield, sat back in the field. Bakash sort of had it run to suit. It favoured the on paces. Matanga made a bit of ground, not a lot. It was also on dry that day, where it seems to prefer wet. Prior to that, it had 2 runs at Morganville and ran strongly to win both. And one of those was, it made up a lot of ground towards the end. They were over 1200 and 1400 respectively. So it beat Ethereum Girl, quite a handy horse, over 1400. It was a $2 favourite, came from 9th, made up a lot of ground late. And then before that, it came down the outside and beat mostly for show. So if that handles the 1800 metres at all, I'm quite excited. It has got a lot of weight, 58. Arabian Prince with, I think it's 56. Let's check. 57. Arabian Prince 57, probably a better proposition. So I would just do, I would trust the class and go for each way on Arabian Prince. And then a small, also an each way on Mataga. And then a Quinella for 1 Mataga, 3 Champagne Hero, 7 I2, 8 Snit Sonic, 9 Arabian Prince. And a trifecta for 9 Arabian Prince to win. For second, 1 Mataga at 8 Snit Sonic, and then field for third. That's quite a race that's piqued my interest, so I'll be very keen to see how that plays out. Race 4, Sugar Bestons Plate. Let's try and cut through some of the confusion. 1,000 metres. Peloton, this is probably the best distance for this horse. It has seemed to wilt at the 1100 and 1200 a bit. The maiden win was great. It was a fast time, 57.26. Doesn't win a lot. I mean, this is a big drop in grade, so hence why it's $2.90. First go down the straight. So only certain horses handle it. And unknown on, no, actually, it's placed on heavy, just hasn't won. So we do know that it will handle it. Aleppo Pine flies over the 1,000. Maybe more of a Caulfield horse. Street Artist was really good winning lately, looked tough. It ran a second slower than Peloton's best time, but that was on a slow track, on about a 58 and a half. Bolted in at Mornington on the soft. I think it deserves the 440. I would probably lean towards that just because that it's in form. There's a few outsiders: Eternal Darkness, Bleffin, Tempt the Gods. They're not hopeless by any means. Tempt the Gods has won 2 on heavy. Bleffin was riding on Ernie Valley last time. Can handle the wet, probably better on it, so that's not bad. 26. Eternal Darkness can lead and hold on. Just depends what sort of run these get. Bold Secret, the first start down the straight, sort of hit its straps late, knuckled down and made ground for third. Craig Williams was on that day. And then last time at Ernie Valley, it was tough for it at Ernie Valley. It got back, it tried to run on, it sort of ran around the field. Only lost by 2.5 lengths, so back to Flemington is a plus. Van Gogh Bank Check, big win at Echuca, rounded the field, made a lot of ground, and looked pretty impressive. That was on a good track. So again, a bit unknown on the slow. That was 58.33 for time. So I mean, I'd probably rather take Street Artist that ran at that sort of time on the slow. Cavalry Girl, not really sure what to make of. Wintry, just not keen. And Quiet Point, this was interesting. It won in the country, Pakenham. The whole way down the straight didn't really look like it was going to win, but it did. So great stamina there. Probably puts it in good stead for tomorrow. I'm going to go each way Quiet Point. I like that stamina-ish win. Held on really well. And each way on Street Artist. Prefer that as a second favourite over Peloton. That's Money Brother was also good when it won. That went to the front and then held on really well. Tricky race. I wouldn't bet a lot. As we saw, I think it was Wiggum that won this last year or the year before, so they might not go on to do anything. But tricky one. One of there are better races to bet on. That's the final say. Race 5. Let's go for this is 2800. Not a great form race, but there are many opportunities. And where to begin? Cleveland hasn't won for 2 years. It is a huge drop in grade down to this 96 grade from the Group 2, Group 3 list that it's been running in. A lot of weight, but has a real class edge on these. Trav, New Zealander, that doesn't like it wet. That is a bit weird. Don Diego de Vega, that's 7. Doesn't win. Well, wins 4 out of 17. It's been running in better races. Not for me. The Doctor of Love, if it could have the New Zealand form from last prep, this would be much shorter in the market. Last 2 runs have all been on good. Prefers it wet, so definitely going to get it. Can it improve on its recent runs? Potentially. It's up in distance a lot. The 2800 will suit it a lot better than the 2000. And yeah, Flemington will suit much better than Caulfield. It'll sort of mimic those big, wet New Zealand tracks. I think this is a under the radar sort of thing, especially for the place. $7 for the place currently. No one's going to back at looking at that form. Spell 790. But yeah, could improve a lot more than that. Diwali, this is 2 from 2 second up and had 1 run on the slow, unplaced. The value's still there at 34, considering that second up record. For now, has been running in better races. That's 18. Ran last at Geelong. People are going to shy away based on that, but the 5th at Flemington was quite good behind Valiant King, made up a lot of ground. Drawn pretty well. Aruga Momo is in form. Lit Steel is pretty classy. This will go forward. Not much pace, so it probably will get a pretty good run on the pace here as sort of the nominal favourite. 460, it gives you the idea it's pretty open. Golden Century is paying 5. Initially, I like this. It's got a poor winning strike rate, though. I feel like this will be one of those second favourites or sort of favourites that just starts in the market and runs nowhere. That's just my guess. It's got the Magic Man on board, though. Raging Bull out of form. Even though it's had 2 racing thirds, not sure there. Argentum, way out of form, but if it could recapture that international staying form, it'd be it's well worth the price. Farrago, all much of a muchness. Farrago likes it wet. 8 starts in the heavy for 2 wins and 4 placings. Harland, in form, 2 wins, Sandown and Geelong. Carburan, Captain Electric, 2 from 2 on heavy. Out of form at the moment, but, has run well before, 50 to 1. And then Sir Rockford, 126. For a horse that's got about a 33% place rate, that's not bad. 1 at Seymour 3 starts ago on a soft. You could do a lot worse, and Melbourne Cup Day often throws up these outlandish outsiders that either win or place. So, going to put this as a medium to high betting race, not because of the quality, but because there are just so many opportunities. Whether it's Cleveland, whether it's Diwali, Doctor of Love, you've got some great 30 to 1 pops there, and it even kicks on to Captain Electric at 50, Sir Rockford at 126, and so on. You can really make a case for a lot of them. It'll be a slog. I'm going to go for the Doctor of Love. I think it can improve a lot. And sneaky each way on Diwali, and just something on Captain Electric in case it can recapture that form. But yeah, have a go at some exotics. I'm going to do 2 trifectas roving banker. So one of them with Cleveland and with Captain Electric, and one with the Doctor of Love. And it'll be in the best shape. I'll try and figure it out. But yeah, in general, the trifecta roving bankers will be good in this race. Race 6, Kieran Ichiban Plate. Unspoken loves this race, ran in it last year and ran second. Doesn't really like the wet ground as much. Apulia, I just feel this is a bit brittle. Like, it does win sometimes, but this is a pretty tough staying, it's not really a staying distance, but like, it's tougher older horses. I just don't know. I'd like it more at a Cranbourne Mooney Valley where it can accelerate. Kingswood, it'll probably lead. There's not that much, there's not many natural leaders in the race. This should be it. The only thing is it doesn't really like wet ground, so I think it'll go forward and get gobbled up by something. St. George made phenomenal ground last time at Seymour behind Côte Atlantique. Côte Atlantique and El Rocco were up on the pace and ended up running first and third. St. George made a lot of ground. After an underwhelming last preparation, that was a real step in the right direction. So keen on it, but should it be favourite? Maybe not. Maybe it's going to make up a lot of ground again and get beaten. Athanatos, this has been running in better grade. This is very winnable. There are no guarantees. It's a horse that's only won 3 of 18, so you can't get too excited. But if there was ever a chance for it to win, it was today. It's drawn a little bit wide, but Craig Williams back on board. That's got to be valued at $5.50. Molly Bloom doesn't really like Flemington. Garachico's running again on Cup Day after winning last year at 80-1. Shahryar is out of form. Real Class, not too sure. Flying Valley, it wilted at Geelong. It was in the money. Had a great run and just wilted for sixth inexplicably. It's 30s here. It's a lightweight. It'll go forward. Kieran McAvoy, barrier 4, a lot of pros. So again, open race. I'm going to go Athanatos. I just feel like this is the one. This is the time. And then trifecta for Athanatos to win. St. George or Flying Valley, 5 and 13 for second, and then Field for third. Yeah, a little bit of a skip race in a sense, and it's with the Cup next year. Save the pennies. All right, now to the big one, Melbourne Cup. Where to begin? Race 7. Okay. Alriff is undoubtedly the best horse in the race. That 4-length commanding win in the Group 1 recently tells you all you need to know. Barrier 19 and 59 kilos probably will undo it. I don't really know that it loves wet ground, like it can handle it, but whether it loves it, not sure. The money's come, $7 equal favourite. No, I've seen too many of these big name internationals come and get burned, Video and co. I know the money's there. That person dropped 500 grand on it, but yeah, I don't know. Buckaroo, 2.5 kilos more than last year. It's going to go back again. It's jumping 1,200 meters after an amazing Cox Plate run. It could do a very elegant and just be that forgotten great Australian hope and win. Possibly. Arapaho won the City Cup really well. The City Cup usually doesn't translate that well. Loves wet though. The heavy's going to be right on its alley. Money's come a bit. It was like 50s yesterday. Now it's 35s. Barrier 15 should go forward and be somewhere around the mark. Vauban, oh nah, it's just two out of form, and it's had cracks before. Chevalier Rose, same deal, doesn't want it wet. Presage Nocturne, really liked this yesterday and today. The more I look at it, I don't think it's going to love the wet as much as I anticipated. Definitely a massive chance. It's 8:50 now. I think it'll start in probably 10 or 11 on the day. Melbourne Cup is a race where you almost, unless you're betting ahead of time and you're doing futures and you're really onto something that no one else is on, then I would say back things early. But if you're backing something, if it's a question of backing the day before or like 2 days before versus on the day, I would always go on the day because there's so much money pumping into this market from people who are just betting once in a year on numbers, on names, on all kinds of stuff that very rarely, they always drift. Very, very rarely, I think, taking a price is better. And the place market in this race is fantastic. You're getting such good odds. Even Alriff at the moment, it's 520 on the tote, and like that's crazy. And normally that would disappear, but it may not. Like, I mean, yes, it will, but it might still like pay 3 or 4 for the place just because of the money in the pool. So yeah, I would never take anything early. Presage Nocturne, that was the point I was sort of getting to. Was it at 8:50 seemed good yesterday? And I was like, why would I take this? It's going to start probably 10s or 11s. Yeah, not sure that it's going to love that wet as much. The run in the Caulfield Cup was really good. It definitely probably wasn't as wound up as it would have been. This is the grand final. From Barrier 9 should sit midfield and be, a winning chance. Middle Earth, no. Maidan, no. It's going to try and come across from a wide gate. Hasn't got any wet form to speak of. Absurd, warming more to this. I like these horses that keep coming back, sort of like a Red Cadeau, even though that's different because that ran a lot of seconds and was clearly a great Melbourne Cup horse. I like that they're trying with this. Kieran McAvoy's on board. It's drawn really well. It's wide on heavy. Probably gets a good run. And was only a few legs off them in the Caulfield Cup. Not that was a particularly strong Caulfield Cup, but Absurd, the money's come a little bit. So don't forget it. Flatten the curve. Likes it wet. Will try and come across from 17. Possibly. Land Legend, no. Smoking Romans, maybe for the fact that there's not many leaders. This will come across and lead. If it's a real stamina staying slog, this likes it wet. It could coast in the lead with 53 and be hard to run down and run third or fourth in the first 4 or even better. So that's just, a possibility. Change of the guard will come across and lead. Not for me. Half yours. At 750 currently, it had everything go right in the Caulfield Cup. It had a perfect run, perfect card into the race. It probably can't get things as good as that again. It does like it wet. But the downside is it's going up 800 metres in distance. It's a real unknown. It's drawn well, yes, but it's not as well weighted comparatively. Presage Nocturne gets 2 kilos on it. So, yeah, definitely in the mix, but hard to be like super effusive. More Felons. This could be a pipe dream, and I could be really going up the wrong track. But the more I watch the runs, it's been good lately in good company, or at least in group company. Like that race around with behind Travolta, it wasn't much of a field, and also behind Royal Supremacy wasn't much of a field. But comparatively compared to some other horses, they sort of were good runs. Even better in the wet, the win against Almania, it came from well back up on the fence. Barrier 23 is probably good. It's going to go back, and it's going to be Lux of Fortune whether it can get a pace to run onto, but it will be running on and very hard with 53 kilos. So if it gets an unimpeded run, great place bet. One smooth operator, didn't like it last year, no better this year. Further, this will go forward and get a decent run. It's placed on heavy. Place chance. Passion Party, I know they say that it's a dirt tracker and it's got no chance, but it did win by 8 on a heavy dirt track, whatever that means. I love the story of how they entered it into that particular Belmont Cup and only just got a run, or things were changed at the last minute from turf to dirt, and it was a real miracle they got this golden ticket. Amazing story. At the Baskin, no. Goody Two Shoes, no. Don't think it'll handle the ground. River of Stars, better stayer than I ever realised with that run in the Caulfield Cup. Did get a good run, but certainly has a bit of pedigree than I thought. Lightweight will go forward. $15 is about right. Royal Supremacy, it's paying 26 over the odds, but I'm against it. I think it's a bit one-paced. Torrenzino, same deal. It's improved a lot, but one pace. And Valiant King, I know that the form reads well, but I just don't want to. I was burned last year, and I just emotionally, sentimentally don't want to jump on board, but I know that the form sort of reads well. For me, it's Presage Nocturne number 6. I'll do a big Quinella first. Oh, no, I'll do the each way first. So, yeah, Presage Nocturne number 6 and 18 Parchment Party and 15 More Felons. I'll be on each of those. And then a big box Quinella for 3 Arapaho, 6 Presage Nocturne, 9 Absurd, 12 Smoking Romans, because this Quinella goes 3, 6, 9, 15, 18. The only I'm missing is the 12. Have to follow the symmetry. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 More Felons, 18 Parchment Party. Place bet More Felons. I just want to see what happens. That's race 7. Race 8, 9, and 10. So this is sort of where Melbourne Cup Day usually gets a bit crazy with some crazy outsiders. Things to generate, the form makes no sense. Better horses don't necessarily win. So always keep that in mind. So with race 8, Navy Pilot, probably the best horse in the race with Bar Cash. Hidden Achievements coming off a good prep in Queensland. Then it's run last and it's a resuming run. And then it's won a trial. So very hard to know. Grand Prairie's been under the radar, good form in Sydney. 5th at Rose Hill and its last Group 3 before that win. 10 to 1's pretty appealing. Barcash has been so consistent, could just win again. Hasn't won here at Flemington, but yeah, more of a Caulfield horse. But Drawn Paul is the only thing, but it's been in great form. Vega for luck, capable. Miss Celine needs everything to go right, runs on, just needs a huge speed, needs to be that horse running the widest coming home. Ripley, no. Burmester, this was a huge win on heavy in its maiden. Looked like it was getting through the ground amazingly. Lost on heavy the next start, just. It's coming through lesser grade races, 72s and maidens and things, but Magic Man Joe Moreira on board. It looked good on that heavy track. If it is heavy, huge chance. Kaleo maybe, Sulek, Kasumi Orochi. Tagline, this is a good one. 4 stars, 2 wins, 2 placings. One as a short price favourite at Geelong and also Mornington. The third at Caulfield was okay behind Regal Award. It says third by 7.6 lengths, but really, that was 7.5 lengths of Regal Award winning. So it was only just third. Was an okay run. Not many made that much ground. Can handle wet, or at least slow. Pictor, same deal. 4 starts, 1 win, 2 placings. That's been okay. But I think Tagline, it's really over the odds. Like, it shouldn't be 40s. It's currently 40s and 10s on fixed and 20s on the totes. So I jump on that pretty soon. And then some of these other ones, like Sir Micah, 4 stars for 2 wins. This is where you can get some crazy odds and some crazy winners. Ludlam's the favourite at 480. Won a Seymour Maiden by 2 lengths. A lot of these horses have won races. That's the thing. And it's got no real wet track form to speak of. So why Ludlam will be that short, I don't know. And then Common Interest, 2 stars for a win in the placing. It's It's come across from Adelaide, and that's 100 to 1. So you really are getting some excessive overs. For me, initially it was Navy Pilot, then it was Burma Star, then it was Tagline. So I'll go each way Tagline, each way Burma Star, and then a Quinella for 2, 3, 8, and 12. Yep. Race 9, Hong Kong Jockey Club Stakes 1400. Fancify, this one, it was either last year or the year before on Melbourne Cup Day. It's been in really good form since, consistent, strong wide here. She's got pizzazz, really likes it wet. Two runs at Caulfield in this prep have been quite good. It's placed all its starts on slow. Dance to the Boom, likes to lead, 5 wins out of 8 starts. Barrier 14, it's going to come across and try and do that. Over the odds at 14s. Boston Nick, Magic Man on board. Roll on High, it's raced in better races than this. Doesn't necessarily like super wet ground, but it has one on slow. Over the odds at 30s, would need the pace on naturally. Some other ones here. Electric Impulse, Eternal Flame, Coco Jambu, all capable in their day. Probably not on the wet as much. Gumdrops, capable, just not for me. Stylish Flyer. Pondalawi, it's been running on well without winning. Untried on heavy, Camero on slow, drawn well. Surf and Bird, big favourite. Won at Caulfield last time, 70 grade, smashed them by 4 lengths. Favourites don't always win these races. I'm just reluctant to take any favourites after Melbourne Cup's run or Melbourne Cup Day. Kirribilli won its last start, 2 wins out of 5, and then Perfect Picture. This is always running on. This is a good horse. This is run behind Tudor, Lizzie, and Benagil in previous campaigns. Even behind Treasure of the Moment, 4 lengths behind, like, shouldn't be 50s. It's unknown on heavy as well, so yeah, 50 to 1's a bit crazy. I'm going to stick with She's Got Pizzazz. This is ready to roll. It's at 1 start at the 1400 for 1 win. It gets it today. It's gone under the radar with those 2 1200 metre runs at Caulfield. It's paying 18 currently. It's 12 on the tote. Get on that, and Perfect Picture at 50s for the place, and just maybe a little saving for the win. And then the last race, I'm thinking that this one, it's going to be like 2 years ago when Pichero won at 40 to 1. So risque. The form goes under the radar, but this is capable on heavy and slow, and it likes Caulfield, likes Flemington, 2 starts here, track and distance for a win and a placing. 3 runs back in, it's primed. The favourite here is Untried on wet. 270 is way too short for Sabage. These races are usually a bit of the Wild West, just crazy stuff happens. Persian Spirit is really talented. I think this will definitely run a place. That's number 12. And yeah, there's a lot. Endola's running better races. Windstorm's capable. Not that much speed in this. Each way So Risque. Each way Persian Spirit. And then a big Quinella for 9 So Risque. 12 Persian Spirit. 14 Heel Rip. 15 No Strings Attached. This is a good horse. 9 starts, 3 wins, 2 placings. And then also we'll throw in number 18, 10 Commandments. The form's terrible, but it's out of Palantino and soft. 9 starts, 3 wins, 2 placings. Kebby, 2 starts, 2 wins. You never know. It just may get back to that kind of form. And Bolt Saber's also quite good on the wet. Hard to leave that one out, but likes it heavy. That's everything. It is actually, I always look at it this way, that it's a bit of a day for those horses that can't get in anywhere else on Derby Days and Cox Plate, and they emerge on Cup Day. Like Unspoken, it always seems to run on Melbourne Cup Day. It ran last year, and it's running again in the same race. I'd love to know whether that's just owners wanting to be part of the same day, or like whether it's what would be behind it. But once you do the form, the more you like it. Even the Melbourne Cup, I was like, it's every year I'm like, is it as good as previous years? Is it as good as previous years? But once you start to do the form, you see a whole lot of things emerge, and any 24 horse race that's a handicap is going to be amazingly interesting. So yeah, thanks for watching. It's been a fun spring so far. Good luck tomorrow. Don't forget So Risque in the last. Don't forget She's Got Pizzazz in race 9. Don't forget Tagline in race 8. I think the better value is actually, funnily enough, After the Cup, even though I think it's the most unpredictable and volatile. In the Cup, More Felons for the place, Pizzazz Nocturne, or each way More Felons, each way Pizzazz Nocturne. And before that, don't be afraid for some outsiders. It can be big paydays, and do a quaddie. So much info. Have a great day, and good luck for the rest of the week.
And then came Sweet Liaison as they turned for home. Jefferson, he's been in front every inch of the way. He's out like 2.